Richardson, were you interested in being cast on Vanderpump Rules? If so, can you share with us your experience going through the interview process?
Oh my God.
I'm curious if your experience matches mine for the interview process.
Wait, what?
Like, because right before we closed down, Jeremiah reached out and had Jason and I interview for the show.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, they interview tons of people. Like you said, it's like every single. Well, what happened was Logan and I, we know Logan, right? Logan and I were like ripping each other's heads off in the front, and he was complaining about his section, and he's like, Adam, I can't deal with your bitchy mood today. And I was like, then get out of my face, just go away from me.
Well,
And then he's like
the two favorites. That's why I think also you guys were battling for territory.
Yeah, but we also, it was so innocent.
Was it?
I mean, it wasn't there. There was no match, so it's like, so it had to be innocent.
But it would have been great for TV, though. I think for sure the two of you together, the dynamic. But to get to the question, were you interested in being cast? You know what? At times it went in and out. I was interested, and I became disinterested. I guess, can you share with us your? And I actually did interview for it. I auditioned for it. Lisa really liked my interview. Everybody liked my interview. I think there was they wanted me to be a part of it, but because of my own like insecurities and stuff with my family, I just didn't know how I would be portrayed on the show. So I was just like, I don't know if this is good for me. I battled with it a lot, honestly, in the beginning. But it's not that they didn't want me or didn't ask me. I was asked twice, I think, and I did interview for it. I just didn't know how to navigate that. And I'm glad looking back now that I didn't do it, because I don't think that it would have pushed my life in a direction that I want my life to go in, So, because like now a lot of the cast members are dealing with a lot that I'm just like, ooh, if that was me, I don't know how I would have handled it,
Well, and to be fair, you and I used to sit there and have conversations, because when we were at TomTom, and if there would be downtime, we talked about the fact that like the Toms just bought $2 million homes, and they get to come in like Mickey and Goofy at Disney World and play characters. And like, it just seemed like the dream, and then you go back to your like little mini mansion over in Valley Village, and it's like all's great while everybody else is living in apartments. You know what I mean? So I think when you think about it, like with what you could have, it was exciting. But then when you think about what you have to give to get there, you're like, pump the brakes on that. I don't know.
Yeah, you have to give a lot. It's just so much, and I don't know that at the end it's worth it unless you're like focused and you have a plan, and if you don't have a plan, things come out of left field. You don't know how to deal with it. And I think I would have been in that boat, We've seen many cast members come and go though. So
right.
That makes sense.
Well, there was actually a time with you, and I hope you don't get mad about this.
I won't. Go ahead. I know what you're talking about.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay. So there was a time with you that I feel like producers did you really dirty.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know. Okay. I forgot her name, but yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I remember. Okay.
So she was brought on season 8. Her name was Danica, and she was one of the managers for Sir. So Richardson, I'm sitting there talking to Richardson. I'm there this night, mind you guys. And Danica, Richardson had to tell Danica to no longer come over to the restaurant because she came over with her drunk shenanigans, just being a hot ass mess, and thinking because she managed Sir that she got to come in and do whatever she wanted at TomTom. And Richardson like drew his line in the sand, and it was like, that shit's not flying here. That's not, you don't run this place, and you're not going to come in and act like that and treat people like that. So I think you pretty much told her, maybe don't come back.
I think I did.
Right. If she was going to act like that. So then producers get wind of this. They get all excited, and they tell Richardson that Danica is going to come and apologize to him. So they mic Richardson up, and then all of a sudden they have him, because guys, we're filming a TV show, right? Reality TV. So they still have you walk over to the spot. They have to get their right shots. They have to have the cameras in place. So they have Richardson go up to the front, and here comes Danica. You remember this?
Oh, I remember. And I thought it was going to be very easy. I was told, okay, this is what's going to happen. She's going to apologize. You can say whatever you want. I was just going to be like, it's fine. As long as, you come over here and you act accordingly. I don't have a problem with you. You know what I mean? She's a young person doing her young things, So I was just like, cool. And that wasn't it. That wasn't it. I think she accused me of something and was getting in my face and trying to like, belittle me in front of everyone. And I was just like, I am not doing this. I will
Yeah.
not do this with you. I said, take these mics off of me. You're not going to come in here and try to ambush me and do whatever you wanted to do, because I saw where the conversation was leading to. And I'm very respectful of my parents and how they are and what they think, because I think that's important. The people that, birthed you, gave you right to this, to be, for me at least, to be here in America. And they've done so much for me that I was just like, yeah, I am not doing this. This is not a good representation of my family or myself. So I ended up just leaving. But I can't really remember what she was doing, but I know it was like almost like a got you kind of thing, like, well, trying to get a rise out of me, which she did. But I just didn't want that rise to be used for the show because I got so angry.
I actually remember because I had to walk away and I had tables. We were packed. Like we were busy when all of this was happening.
And that was the other thing. I was managing. It was crazy busy. So it already was like intense, the energy.
Well, and at the time, what people don't realize was it was you and Max side by side managing. And Max, at the time that he got on the show, guys, love Max. He was an absolute, not a nightmare when he was filming and working, but my God, if you could hear like, I would always tell him too, his woe is me level. He was like, oh, you guys don't understand. I fucking had to film all day. Now I have to be here. This is so dumb. And it's like, this is your job.
Yeah. But
he went from 0 to Tom, like one of the Toms or Jax Taylor, like in one season, like it was kind of, it was, so you were managing, like at the end of the day, like we would sometimes go to Max with, again, this is not a bash session. This is what happened, because it wasn't like that before he started filming. But when we would go to him, he'd be like, just figure it out, talk to Richardson. And so we would come to you and you'd be like, shit, what's going on? But in this moment, there were tables. It was so busy. And I see you just coming through, walking past the bathrooms, ripping the mic off, saying, I'm not doing this shit. I will quit right now. I will call Lisa and Ken. I will explain everything. And I was like, quit? Wait, you can't quit. If you quit, I'm going, like, where am I going to go? I'm like, I was only safe because of you, I felt. So I'm like, Richardson, where are we going?
Yeah, you know what though, to his credit, Max he was learning, to be filming and being part of the gossip and everything was going on. He was learning a lot, and I think we all were learning too, how to navigate that. But yeah, it was hectic. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts. Another question for you is, were there any employees from Pump or TomTom that would have been great for Vanderpump Rules?
Oh,
I think there's a lot. I think that there's just, it's about making them make sense into the stories.
Yes. My girl, Jordan. Oh my God. Jordan, Hurricane Jordan, force of nature, Jordan. If you guys ever run into this girl, she is a very interesting person. Like one of the most interesting people that I think I've met, but I think, I don't know that, it's not like the producers come to the restaurant and they're like, cast this person. I'm going to cast this person. It just depends on what's happening naturally. If something's happening in the restaurant, they, catch wind of it and they're like, oh, really? Okay, well, maybe let's see what's going on with this person. Let's talk to them, because it's just all kind of like, they try to get it as, I guess, natural as possible, knowing that everybody wants to be on the show. Right. Except for me.
Which was so funny because everybody would tell you, no matter what restaurant you went to, I don't want to be on that show. I don't want to be on the show. But the minute that the producers looked at them, it was like, oh my gosh, it was like there was a whole persona turned on. I used to joke with JoJo all the time because JoJo was like extra. And I just saw him in February and I even still mess around with him. But he was so extra. But then the moment that they would mic him up, it'd be like, yeah, twerk. And it's like, holy shit. Like it was just him times 100. And I didn't even know he could get to that place. But I don't want to be on camera.
You mean 1,000? JoJo he's a big old light of just a lot of just a lot of energy, of energy. I mean, but you know what though? Everyone that I work with, everyone that I manage, I think for the most part, I had a good relationship with them. If I didn't, it's because they weren't doing their jobs.